All right, good morning. It's a lovely Wednesday morning in Pennsylvania. I mean, I guess it's lovely. I don't know. It's dark. It's 3:29 a.m. Car's packed. I got the thermos full of coffee, so I'm gonna pour my first cup for the road. Ooh, that's hot, and that's good. All right, let's drive to Oregon. We've got the Rush CD queued up. We're ready to go. Let's watch the sun come up over Ohio today. First gas stop, just east of Akron, Ohio, $26.59. Rolling across Ohio on US 30. It's about 7:30 a.m. So I'll give you two of the secrets to my success to cross-country travel. Number one, I sleep in my car, so no lodging expense. Number two, I bring a lot of food, and I have packed these 3 deluxe ham and cheese sandwiches. So I'm about to eat one of those, and I'll eat one each day. In here, I have 3 mustard eggs, so I'll eat one of those each day. I've got summer sausage, some dill pickle meat sticks, candy bars, here's some pineapple, some fruit cups, butterscotch pudding. And then, back here, a couple of totes with some stuff. Crackers. I've got ramen noodles, which I can just use my cook pot to make if I want. Some tuna and chicken salad. A Mountain House beef stroganoff meal. This is Texas mesquite chicken salad. German chocolate fudge, trail mix. And in this other one, there's some chips, some sardines, and some Lance crackers. So I could get by completely for 3 days on the road with just the food that I have, but I may also buy something hot, probably from a truck stop, a roller bite, a slice of pizza, but I usually avoid the restaurants. Don't be surprised if I hit a Dairy Queen, though. And it's possible if I see some local restaurant that looks interesting, might possibly stop there. All right, let's get back on the road. It's time for my first thermos refill. And I usually look for a Love's or a Pilot, because then I know what I'm getting. Anywhere else, it's kind of a crapshoot. You see my pillow behind me? I decided to recline and just take a little rest. But I think I'm all right to get back on the road. So let's refill the thermos. What's in Van Wert, Ohio? Well, a little thing I like to call a you'll see. So we can at least walk up these steps and take a look I bet they do let you go in there. It is probably locked today. Yep. Bottoms of people long gone, I'm sure, sat on those benches waiting for a train. Track inspection car. Well, isn't that just adorable? So the Van Wert County Historical Museum is only open on Sunday afternoons, but it is also open by appointment. But I didn't make an appointment. But we can walk around the grounds, and the rabbit can certainly hang out. Hello, rabbit. All right, so what's this building? Is it train related or something else? Harrison Township Log Home, donated by the Merkles. That would also be locked, I'm sure. That may also be something that you can tour when the museum is open. The outhouse, I presume. Cellar door. Lincoln Highway Tourist Cabin. Can't really see inside there, but this reminds me a little bit of, I don't think it's just called the Lincoln Motel, the Lincoln Motor Lodge, maybe? Near Bedford, Pennsylvania, that still have cabins like this to stay in. They're a little bit wider, it seems to me, but that looks like it was for lodging. There's a number 1 on it, so they must have had several like these for people traveling the Lincoln Highway to stay in. The Lincoln Highway ran from New York to San Francisco and was sort of conceived or promoted around 1913, I think, or it started to be promoted in the 1910s, before there were numbered highways in the United States, which didn't happen until the 1920s. So the Lincoln Highway wasn't, an official route that was laid out and planned and marked as such. It was more of a, here's how, if you want to travel cross country, here are the roads that you take to get from New York to San Francisco. The first person to travel the Lincoln Highway did it eastbound from San Francisco to New York, showed that it was possible and helped promote it. Some of the travel would have been on dirt and gravel roads at that time, but it was mainly promoted by the auto industry to get into Americans' minds the idea of road tripping and to help encourage states and municipalities to build more paved roads for that. Okay, well, that was kind of cool. We're gonna get back on US 30 very soon. We'll be crossing into Hoosierland, Indiana. We're going to check out the History Center. Now they have a parking lot right here. This $7, but here on the street right next to it, 2 hour max at the meter, $1 an hour. So we're going to choose the $2 parking. There we go. 2 hours. And it must be 10:45 a.m. The History Center. what's it all about? And do you go in here? And do they have a restroom? Because I'd like to visit that first. All right, here we go. $7, $5 for seniors or youth. Children 2 and under free. So when they say 3 rivers, I think they're talking about this confluence right here. No, wait, let's see. The St. Joseph River. And, oh, here it is. The St. Joseph River and the Maumee River coming together to form the St. Mary's River. Look at those children's moccasins. Those are cool. I've never seen children's shoes like that. Clay pipe. Horn spoon. This is really cool too. Beaded bag. Okay, so apparently the Miami Indians who lived in this area had long houses. Candidates for President of the United States, 1860. Abraham Lincoln, John Breckinridge, John Bell, Stephen Douglas. Look, the city of Fort Wayne went overwhelmingly to McClellan in 1864. Here's some information about the Wabash and Erie Canal and the various locks along the way. There's the Indiana-Ohio line. How a lock works. So I'm learning why this location was geographically important, even to the French. This area was part of what they called New France until 1763. And it's basically because of connecting, if you want to travel by water, Lake Erie, and then whatever that is, I'm not sure what that is, and then a short portage to take you overland until you get to what I imagine now is the Maumee River. Then you take that down, and here is another short portage to connect you to the Wabash River. And once you're on the Wabash River, you're home free because that goes down and flows into the Ohio River, which then flows into the Mississippi. So, therefore, Ontario to New Orleans, entirely by water, but with 2 short portages. And this, the Fort Wayne, Indiana, sits at the location of the first one. Looks like in 1866, population of Fort Wayne was 29,000, and on a rail line from between Chicago and Pittsburgh. On the Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, and Chicago Railroad. Population 4,200. When was that? So this would be a north-south rail line. Pequot, Ohio to the south, and Sturgis, Michigan to the north. On the Pequot and Lima Plank roads. Oh, I guess plank roads. Let's see, we're talking about 1847. Local investors tried to raise funds for the planking of the 50-mile-long Lima Road to LaGrange County, which is to the north of here. This shows you that the term Hoosier was in use by 1837. I am now quite the Hoosier, for I am not afraid to ride any horse. I still don't know what a Hoosier is, though.
Train number 28 of Broadway Limited for Crestline, Pittsburgh, Altoona, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Newark, and New York.
here. Old City Jail. That's supposed to be interesting. I was told to be prepared for a jump scare, because there's a mannequin in a cell. Okay. Oh, it's an old police vehicle, huh? Women's cell. Oh, okay. So there's an additional piece of metal at the top, and evidently that is because a female inmate was able to escape by climbing up and squeezing through the opening at the top. So they put a stop to that. I assume that is a changing room. The drunk tank cell. Oh, there we go. Police call box. Okay, so this is blocked off. It may be hard to see. There's plastic right there. So you can't go back there, but you can walk into this cell. The bench was quite low, and I guess you'd have to sleep on it. Never seen an old pair of handcuffs. There's a pair of handcuffs. Oh, Bee Gees. So up here on the second floor, check this out around the corner in the hallway. Look at that stairway. That is so cool. That place was pretty cool. There was a lot of stuff in there I didn't show you because I wasn't necessarily interested in it myself, but there's lots more stuff that you didn't see. As far as general Fort Wayne history, there's a lot of stuff there to see. So if you happen to live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, come down to Barr and Berry Streets and check it out. 11:58, and it's 86 degrees now. I think it was 77 or something when I went in there, so it's gotten quite a bit warmer, and I was in there for just over an hour. Still very overcast. All right, let's get out of Fort Wayne and back on US 30. So at that history museum, I learned or realized something that I never had before, which is, fermentation was discovered in the old world something like 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, and then, of course, used to make wine and beer. So alcoholic beverages have been around in the world for a long, long time, but not in the Americas until they were introduced by Europeans. There was some information in there and quotes from some of the indigenous people here urging their people not to drink this poison and stop buying it. Many people quite upset with the British and the French for introducing brandies and so on. Some of it seemed to be kind of blaming them for, you know, trying to peddle it to them in trade. It was like, no, bring us useful stuff that doesn't intoxicate us. So it seems like maybe fermentation was just never discovered here. Well, after 11 hours on the road, we're now in Lake County, Indiana, which is in the northwest corner of Indiana. So that means we'll soon be heading into the Chicago suburbs, and I anticipate traffic will get heavier. So before I get into all that, I'm gonna have one of my mustard eggs. You see, I brought a real fork with me. I have a real fork, a real spoon, and a real knife. They're all kind of small, but they are actual silverware. I don't like to use plastic silverware. Sometimes it breaks. That's one problem. Well, look, it's 3:29 p.m. if you can see the clock there. We left at 3:29 a.m. So that's 13 hours on the road. That's right, 13, not 12, because we're in the central time zone now. Rolling across northern Illinois on Interstate 80. It's 80 now, all the way to Utah. Right now, just waiting for my Texas mesquite chicken salad to finish steeping. I got my fork handy, and I'll try to eat that thing while I drive. But if I have any trouble, I will pull over. Safety first. What is the Great Sauk Trail? Never heard of that. Probably not a hiking trail. This is a nice rest area. And look, there's some shade here. I might sit for a minute. That breeze feels good. It's in the upper 80s, but here in the shade with this breeze, it actually feels pretty comfortable. It's not humid at all. Back when I was talking about my food, I might have given you the impression, because I mentioned I had 3 sandwiches and 3 mustard eggs, one each day. So I might have given you the impression that I'll be able to make it all the way to the Oregon coast in 3 days. Probably not. But I will make it to the Oregon state line in 72 hours. We left Wednesday at 3:30 a.m., which means by Saturday morning at 12:30 a.m. Pacific time, we will, I'm sure, hit the Oregon state line. And that's even with me messing around on the way, like spending over an hour at that history museum in Fort Wayne. We'll be looking for other things like that to do along the way. If the timing works out right, we'll stop and visit a place. Dang, look at the size of the marshmallows that truck is hauling. Must have been a great marshmallow crop this year.